Hi friends, how are you? This is whitetigersushi speaking, and welcome back to episode 3 of Behind the Scenes of a Chaldonian Survival.
Yeah, so as you know, guys, that's White Tiger Sushi, and hi, this is the Chaldonut, and yeah, we're doing episode 3. So today we're going to be focusing on episodes 9 through 12 for the most part. And I am here at the mountain fortress, whatever you want to call it. And first thing I want to say, guys, is we're actually on a 1.7 world today because we were planning on doing this video on a server, but then there were some problems, some technical issues that didn't work out. So I had already prepared the world for 1.7, so I deleted all the barrier blocks and things like that that come in 1.8. But then it turned out it wasn't going to work, so I'm on a 1.7 world and I'm in single player, guys. So that's that. Alright, anyways, guys, let's head into the little mountain fortress here. First thing I want to talk about today, guys, is how I got mobs into this world. For the most part, I was using spawners. Like, I believe there's a spawner somewhere underneath these blocks here, the gold and diamond and iron. Maybe there isn't, but at least in Chaldonian there was, like, behind the various iron and stuff, there were spawners in order to create mobs. So it looked like, you know, mobs were taking ores out of the city and stuff like that. Is there a spawner down here? I don't think so. No, there isn't. But honestly, that ends up being just fine because it's dark here. I mean, if we look at the block light, it's at like 5 and 6 or so. So it can still spawn plenty of mobs on its own. And then if we go farther back here, in this area, this was intended to be a sort of like summoning pit kind of thing, guys. So there were monster spawners in here in the actual world file. There weren't any spawners in this world file, but in the final one there were. And anyways, the last thing I want to talk about before we head into the Nether and go to Althalos' actual fortress, I want to talk about the effect that was used in episode 8, the mountain, that was used to have Althalos disappear after briefly seeing him. So, you may have noticed what went on, but the hero runs through and tries to get to Althalos, and he runs over a tripwire, which turns on a command block that sets the difficulty to peaceful. And then one other notable thing was there were barrier blocks in the ceiling to keep Althalos, which at the time was just a wither skeleton, from running around and attacking the player. So anyways, guys, now let's head through the portal here. This was a 3x3 portal in the actual series, but here it's just a 2x3 because I'm in 1.7 again, guys. But anyways, let's head into the world here. We've got the flags here on the various structures. That was just a little neat system, I thought. Added some detail, having some flags on all the buildings. This one, as you know, is Althalos' like alchemy and sorcery base. This one has like chests with weapons, and it's got prison. And then this one you didn't actually get to see during the series. This is a storage area with lots of chests, and then it has some water flowing down because, you know, water in the Nether is technically impossible with just water buckets, so it's kind of a little magical touch there. And then also, this is the summoning pit. This has some spawners somewhere, for instance that one right there, and then I think there's one under here somewhere. Yep, one right there, and there's probably one somewhere under here. I'm not sure exactly where. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then the dragon eggs were just another little touch to add some detail. So anyways, guys, at this point, I think we should talk about some of the redstone mechanics in the map, and I'm going to let whitetigersushi talk about most of this stuff because he made it, not me, so I don't have a great idea of how it all works. But as you remember, this is the little room where our hero was stuck in a cage, and he was being threatened by Althalos, and you'll notice this button here. This button was actually inside the cell during the actual video, but it was here originally. And what this is supposed to do is it's supposed to activate that little effect. So when I was sitting in the cage, I was like panicking, and then I hit right click while I was looking at the button. But anyways, guys, I'm going to go fly over to the redstone for this, and then I'm going to let White Tiger Sushi talk a little bit about how this system is supposed to work.
Okay. So, so here is the redstone for the little explosion at the in the cell. So there's a clock here, using the comparator, and this. So yeah, this basically executes a command over and over again that tests for the stone button being clicked. And if it is, then it'll send an output signal, which is, it's an output signal of 1, so you have to use a repeater to make it the redstone signal 15.
Yeah.
So it can travel all the way. And then, so the first thing that we have is it summons a fireball, so it makes it look like Althalos is shooting a fireball. After which it goes all the way to the back, and then there's a really long command in this command block, which basically summons a firework with tons of different colors and properties, which makes it kind of look like an explosion and makes it so you can't really see what's going on, which is kind of the effect that we wanted.
Yeah. I'm just at the very end of the command now. I made it.
Okay.
Okay.
So then it branches off. The redstone signal branches off, goes up, and then it accesses these 8 command blocks, which set different blocks to air in the side of the castle thing. So it's kind of like the explosion actually happened.
Yep. So I'm gonna go run over here and let's do a little test, guys, so you can see it from a different perspective than from inside the cell. So if I press this button, we get a fireball, and then this firework comes on, and then we get this little opening in the back. And then that's how that works. And so you'll remember, guys, then that our hero runs over here to this crystal, and he comes over, and he punches at it, and it blows up. So how about you walk us through that, too?
Okay, so here we are in the redstone that controls the crystal explosion. And so we have the clock here using a comparator. It's not as fast as the other one because on the other one I used secondary. I used another side, which is, I don't really need to explain that. It just doubles the speed. But, that's kind of unnecessary, so I just did this one. But here it tests for a tripwire. And so if there is a tripwire, so there's a little tripwire in the corner of the crystal before it explodes.
Yeah, I'll come show you that, guys. Yeah. It's right there. I'm hovering over it now.
So you can't really see it because it's a little piece of string, but it basically tests for it, and if it's there, it'll invert the signal. So it'll output a signal, as you can see behind the command block, and it'll invert it using this redstone torch. After which it will then summon 2 pieces of primed TNT in 2 different locations inside of the crystal where it's possible to have an airspace. And then that will blow it up. Since primed TNT doesn't usually have a fuse time, so it'll automatically blow it up.
So I'm just going to do a little test for you guys. So I break the string, and then I'm like pretending to punch randomly, and then the crystal blows up. And that's how that effect worked. So anyways, guys, the last thing that I had in mind to talk about with you is Althalos Voice and how we came up with that and stuff like that. So this story begins, guys, with me knowing that I needed to do this episode eventually. So this was a few months ago, way, way back. And I knew that I needed to cast somebody as Althalos in order to, do the scene. So White Tiger Sushi came in and we did it. And he did the redstone that you've just seen. And then we had to, of course, figure out how he was going to talk. And I was thinking that sort of raspy and creepy voicing was what we needed here. I mean, after all, Althalos is an evil villain, so what could be better than a raspy and creepy voice, right? So that's how we did it. We worked on that a little bit, and yeah, and so Althalos has the voice that you hear in episode 9 and episode 12. And I guess I should talk a little bit more about episode 12, just because we focused pretty much on episode 9 today. Episodes 11 and 12 are pretty self-explanatory. 10 and 11, they're just basic survival, but episode 12 has a little bit more going on. It uses barriers to keep Althalos in one place. And then, if you may have noticed this, but my bow in that episode becomes enchanted during the episode, like during the middle of it, sort of towards the end, I guess. But the bow becomes enchanted with power levels 16,960, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and so that basically means that I can instantly kill Althalos when he reveals,
You can instantly kill anything.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can instantly kill absolutely anything, but, that way I can one-shot Althalos at the end of the video, when he reveals that he's killed everyone. So, that's just another little effect that went into it there. But otherwise, I think we've covered about everything we needed to with regard to episodes 9 through 12. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment with feedback and questions. If there are enough questions, we'll do an episode 4 to this series. But anyways, goodbye, friends. This is the Chaldonut speaking, and we will see you all next time.
Yeah, peace out.